Hello tarot friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Liz at West Star Tarot, and I wanted to just talk to you a little bit about my July favorites and things that I've been up to this month. So mostly I will be chatting about cards and herbs, but I thought I would add in a couple other things. So right now, we're in the first week of August, and I'm thinking back to the first week of July, which is only a month ago. But honestly, it's feeling like it was a really long time ago. That breeze feels really good. So we've been having an unusually hot and dry summer here. I live on the northeast coast of the United States, and we have not had any significant rain for probably about 6 weeks now. It has rained a couple times, but sort of like, for 5 minutes. Kind of a little teaser. In addition to it being unusually hot and dry in terms of rainfall, it has not been dry in terms of humidity. It has been really hot. So today, this is about 10:30 in the morning. I'm sitting outside in my backyard on the deck, and the sun is popping in and out, and it's 82 degrees, which isn't super hot, but it's 82% humidity. So when you add 82 degrees Fahrenheit, oh boy, I'm not sure what that is centigrade, I should have looked it up. When you add 82 degrees Fahrenheit to 82% humidity, it is stinking hot. And it's supposed to be probably about 88 at the height today. Later on, I'm going to go over to the beach and go for a swim, but honestly, the water is so warm, it's not really that refreshing. New normal. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about a couple of things. You'll see me looking down because I honestly have a lot of things I wanted to talk about on this video, so I've actually made notes. So the first thing I wanted to talk about that happened the very beginning of July was this. This is the Mashpee Wampanoag Powwow, and as you can see, it was this is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And this was the 101st Mashpee Wampanoag Powwow. I live in Mashpee, and Mashpee is the home of the Mashpee Wampanoag, people of the First Light. And they have a powwow every year and have been doing so for over 100 years. And they missed the last couple years because of the pandemic. So I was so happy that they had a powwow again this year. I really missed it over the past 2 years. The Mashpee Wampanoag people are welcoming, and they share their culture with folks who are non-native, tourists, folks who live here but aren't Native American, folks from other tribes. So when they have a powwow, they invite folks to come, other Native folks to come, and they set up stalls, booths, whatever, and they sell all different kinds of things, from little rattles to t-shirts to herbs to earrings. This is a piece that I got at the powwow several years ago. It's a feather, and it was made by a Navajo craftsperson, and I wear it every day, really, just about. I hardly ever take it off, and it's one of my favorite things. So you know, sometimes it can be a little dangerous when we go to the powwow and walk through these wonderful craftspeople. Anyway, in addition to that, they also have folks selling native foods. And a few of the things that the Wampanoag make are seafood based. So they have stuffed quahogs, quahogs are a big clam. Oh, I should have brought a shell, but anyway, they have this beautiful dark purple inside the shell. So stuffed quahogs, they have fried clams and fry bread and Three Sisters rice, which is squash, corn, and beans mixed in with rice, and they make strawberry moon tea, which is basically iced tea and lemonade and strawberry, because native strawberries are in season right around the beginning of July. So there's wonderful food, there's wonderful crafts, and then there's educational booths that just talk about things that the Mashpee tribe are doing. One of the things that they're working on is a project to continue to teach the Wampanoag language in our local school system, and classes after school for Wampanoag children, so that it will keep the language alive. There are not very many Wampanoag speakers left, and since this project has been started, you know, the hope is that, you know, it will aid to the survival of that language. So in addition to all of that, there's also drumming, singing, and dancing. And folks from the local tribe, as well as tribes from all over North, Central, and South America, come to participate in the dance contests. So they wear their native regalia and dance. And there are all different kinds of dances. There's the Eastern Woodlands dance, and there's the fancy dance, and there's the I'm not going to say, I don't want to say it wrong, but they have, some of the women wear this regalia where they tie on these silver, almost like bells, so when they dance, they ring. And it's just shawl dancers, it's just so many. So here's a picture of a Wampanoag woman dancing in her regalia. So it's just wonderful. There's all kinds of folks there. You learn a lot, and just to experience the drumming and the singing and the dancing and learning about the folks whose land I live on is really an amazing experience. So they have, at the beginning of the weekend, the first dance that they do is what they call the grand entry. So they have folks coming in from the tribe carrying the flag of the Mashpee Wampanoag, and interestingly the United States flag. And they have veterans coming in, and they have elders coming in, and tribal leaders coming in, and then they have all the people who are participating in the dancing contest come in, and they have the chief of the tribe do like a welcoming. They have an elder do an invocation and a prayer to Great Spirit. The medicine man usually goes around and does an herbal smudging of the entire circle of people inside the circle and folks outside the circle. And they talk about tribal customs, Native American customs, particular to the Wampanoag tribe. And the Wampanoag tribe is a very interesting tribe. I mean, they all are. But you know, this is the tribe that I know the most of because I live in this town and have been going to the powwow for probably 35 years now, maybe longer. So I've learned a lot over the years from these folks who are so generous with sharing their culture and their land with non-natives. It's a blessing and a privilege. So anyway, I did want to mention that that was really quite a wonderful experience to have the powwow back up and running. So that was July 1st. I went the Friday, the first day of the powwow. So that was Friday. Then on Monday, which was July 4th, which in the United States is a big holiday, celebrating colonial independence from England. And because of all the things that have been going on in this country, I can't really celebrate anymore because it's just, I don't know what to say. It's just not celebratable, I guess. But I did go to the beach on 4th of July. It was a beautiful day and I wanted to go for a swim. And as I was leaving the beach, I was with some friends. The steps going up from the beach were made of stone and I kind of tripped on the stone step and dislocated my toe and with a compound fracture. I think I mentioned this in my last video. And anyway, ended up in the emergency room and have been in a boot ever since. So I can't walk the dog. I can't go for walks in the woods. After the first couple weeks, I was able to at least go to the beach and swim. And I'm getting there. Another 2 weeks and I'll be out of the boot and back to normal, I hope. Let's see. The other thing that I did in July that was kind of fun was Kasha from Tarot Map invited me to do a video with her on her channel, her YouTube channel, Tarot Map. So I did a video with Kasha. She sort of interviewed me and we had a chat about tarot, oracle, and herbs because we're both plant lovers and card lovers. And Kasha has posted it now, and it's a little embarrassing in a way because I am blathering away because I guess Kasha just made me so comfortable that I forgot we were actually making a video to be published on her YouTube channel, and I felt like I was actually just chatting with Kasha because we are, online friends and we do, chat with each other, multiple times a year. And I kind of forgot that it was going to be published, and so there are some ramblings. But anyway, if you feel like checking it out, it was a fun video, and I enjoyed making it and chatting with Kasha and sharing, some of my favorite plant decks and talking about herbs. So that brings me to part 2 of this video, which I thought I would talk about some of the herbal things that I've been doing in July. So the herbs that I am currently working with in terms of, in my garden, harvesting and making herbal products are, I'm sorry, that's Luna. Luna! Luna! Luna, come! Luna! Come! Good girl, come, lie down. Just show you my little girl here. Whoops, guess she doesn't want to be on the video. Luna, come, lie down. Lie down. So, anyway, herbs. So these are herbs that I have been harvesting and making herbal products with. So one of the ones is calendula, This is an oil that I actually made last year, and this is how much is left. I did make an herbal salve with the calendula, and it's calendula oil, calendula infused in organic olive oil and some beeswax and some lavender essential oil. So this is a really wonderful salve for cuts, scrapes, abrasions, bruising, bug bites, eczema, burns, all different kinds of, it's antiseptic, antibacterial, antifungal. So it's really a wonderful all-purpose herb to have on hand as a salve to apply. You know, when we're out and about in the summertime, we do get all these kinds of wounds. And in fact, I was putting that salve on my toe, you know, because it was a compound fracture. What that means is when the bone fractures, it actually breaks through the skin. So in addition to having a broken toe, I also had this big cut on my toe with 6 stitches. So I was applying that salve to the wound every day, multiple times a day, and I think it really helped it to heal quickly. So many of you know how much I love working with rose, one of my favorite herbs, and this is the first batch of 2022's rose petal elixir. Isn't it beautiful? Look at that color. It smells and tastes like roses. So what I do is when the roses are in season, which is the month of June and into July, I harvest them, put them in these jars and cover them with kosher, food grade, organic vegetable glycerin. And I let them steep. I started this one the end of May, and I just decanted it a couple of days ago. So I let it infuse for, you know, end of May, end of a little over 2 months, so like maybe 9 weeks. And then the other plant I've been working with is motherwort. So I don't have a lot of motherwort growing in my garden. I just planted a motherwort plant last year, and but it was enough to make, this is a tincture. So that will be probably, by the time I strain it off, maybe 4 ounces of tincture. So that'll be enough for my own personal use. And motherwort is, Latin name is Leonoris cardiaca. So Leonoris cardiaca, lion-hearted. So it is a cardiac herb, so helps us on, like all herbs, not only on a physical level, but on an emotional level as well. And it gives us strength for our hearts. It's healing, it's calming, and it's a wonderful nervine. So motherwort is great for folks who get anxious and nervous, and you kind of feel that in your heart. You know, you kind of seize up in your heart, and you get this side of anxious feeling in your emotion and in your heart. I have a lot more to say about motherwort, but I don't want to make this video super long. I also made some blue vervain tincture, and then the plant that I've really started using, I'm midway through July, is holy basil, Tulsi. I adore this herb. I adore it. I adore her. I wanted to I wrote down a few notes about Tulsi because I was afraid I wouldn't remember everything. So holy basil in the Hindu Hindu apothecary or Ayurvedic apothecary is called the elixir of life, and it's one of their most commonly used herbs. Also, in my research and my studies about Tulsi, I learned that many Hindu households have potted plants of Tulsi growing around the entryway, and as an herb of protection. And it's a plant that they actually research and do, sorry, not research, that they venerate every morning and evening in their, I'm sorry. Luna, lie down. Lie down. Lie down. Come on, lie down. Nope, down. Guess she's not really feeling super obedient today. I'm sorry. Anyway, Tulsi. It helps when you take Tulsi. Tulsi is considered an adaptogenic herb, which means that it's good for multiple purposes, and it helps your body adapt in different ways, either lowering or lowering or raising. Like, for example, blood pressure or heart rate or whatever. So it helps your body adapt and align back into balance. And it works on multiple levels to align body, mind, spirit, and it helps to open the heart center. So it's just a beautiful, gentle, yet powerful herb. It reduces blood glucose, so it helps folks with diabetes. It brings peace, harmony, and balance to the heart and mind. It's just a lovely herb, and I use it this time of year as a tea. So I will go out in my garden and pick these flowering tops and make tea. And then I will usually, or not usually, but oftentimes I will add either rose petal elixir, or I also make Tulsi glycerate. And it just tastes delicious. It has, when I read about it, people say they feel like it has like a kind of a base note or an under taste of clove, but to me it's more like cinnamon. I taste a little hint of cinnamon. It's just delicious. I love it. So my Tulsi plants, I probably have about 8 or 9 of them growing, all came from one plant from last year that I wintered over and then planted in my garden and took cuttings from. And so I'm hoping to have, it's really starting to come into its own, and the more you harvest it, the bushier and more it produces. So those are the herbs that I've been using for the most part. Not using so much as bringing into my life and harvesting and making tinctures and other products, oils, salves, and so forth. So anyway, that's where I am with my herbs. I'm trying to see if Luna will actually sit and stay down. Good girl. So I pull a Weaver usually every month, but I've started, this is the Weaver's Oracle by Carolyn Hillier. This is a real favorite oracle of mine, and I often will harangue or complain or chastise what I call the Oracle Industrial Complex. And these are the companies that, are producing just ridiculous amounts of oracle decks, mainly oracle, not so much tarot, and it's like if you are creating an oracle deck in a matter of a month or even a couple of months, and you're pumping them out 2 or 3 as a creator, 2 or 3 or 4 a year, how deep is that oracle? I find they're not very deep. They're pretty shallow. This oracle deck by Carolyn Hillier took 30 years to create. So the depth and the rootedness and the grounding and the sky opening, heart healing, nature and beauty of the artwork in this deck is just incredible. So I decided at the solstice that rather than wait until, so the summer solstice for us was June 21st. And rather than wait until July 1st to pull a Weaver Oracle card, that on the solstice I would pull a card to have on my altar from solstice to Lammas. And this is the beautiful being that came for guidance during that time period. She is Lake, Sonji of the Moon Woman, and she is from the clan of Earth, or the Earth clan, and she is a South Weaver. And I just wanted to quickly read a little bit from the book about what Carolyn channeled for Lake. So there were many stories sung about shining Sonji woman, offered in quiet lilting voices by the old ones sitting at the fire. As her tale was pulled from shadows, there were many young girls listening, with eyes that flamed and sparkled. They were proud of Sonji woman. They were proud to be her daughters. In this way, both their roots and their memories were fed. Sonji dwelled alone in a hut of reeds and mud, licked by the lapping waters of the lake. She was a lover of the moon, as am I, and every night she walked the shoreline, watching for the moon dog, who would rise up through the silent waters of the lake, pushing light before him as he burst into the sky. And at the moon's ascending, as the moon dog scaled the heavens, she sang to the silver beauty and gave praise to his power. And this was her magic. Moon entranced she was, for she craved to touch the moon dog and longed to travel with him on the surging tide of light. And so it goes on to tell the mythology and the story of Sonji of the Moon. And I had a beautiful time with Lake from summer solstice to Lammas. And when Lammas came around several days ago and it was time for me to pull another Weaver, I was very reluctant to let go of Lake. I thought, oh, I don't think I'm done working with you and hearing your guidance, but all right. So I put her back in the deck and I shuffled and shuffled and shuffled, and I pulled my card for the Weaver that I will be working with from Lammas to fall equinox, and who popped up but Lake. So I'm not done working with the beautiful energy of this Weaver, and I will continue to work with her over the course of the next 6 to 8 weeks till we come to fall equinox. I was out and about driving, doing some errands in town in the middle of July, midday, and I was coming down a hill near our local hospital, and on either side of the road were woodlands, and all of a sudden I saw someone pop out of the woodlands, and so I, slowed my car down, and out ran this beautiful deer from one side of the road to the other. So the road cuts through these woodlands. And so I thought, okay, I guess the animal spirit and animal that I will be working with for the foreseeable future is deer. We have a lot of deer on Cape Cod, but I can probably count on one hand the amount of times I've actually seen a deer here in this local area. I know they're here, but I just don't see them very often. So I took that as a message, and so I pulled this card from Spirit Animal Wisdom deck by Katie Jane Wright, illustrated by Nikki Strange. And so I'm working with deer. I think I mentioned in a last video that I'm so enraged and I'm so angry about what's happening in the United States. I mean, I continue to be. It's not like I just got mad yesterday. And so I have been spending a lot of time working with Kuan Yin, Mother of Mercy, Goddess of Compassion and Healing and love. And I thought, you know what? I still will continue to honor and work with Kuan Yin, but I need to bring in another force, and so it's Kali. So I have been working with Kali. Here she is from the Goddess Guidance cards. This is the Samadhi Oracle, and this oracle, Seeds of Shakti. Sorry, Sharon. I love this deck. So I have several images of Kali out and about. My herbal card from Summer Solstice to Lammas was Bee Balm, which I thought, this is from the Soul Flowers Oracle, which I thought was perfect because that's the time when bee balm is very prevalent in my garden. And so I pulled another card, another herb to work with from Lammas to fall equinox, and I pulled my beloved hawthorn, Courage. And hawthorn is an herb that I have been taking and working with on a physical basis, but also a metaphysical basis since 2019. I had a heart incident. I had to have stents put in. And so I have been working with hawthorn, but I ran out of tincture and somehow procrastinated, or life got in the way, and I was out of hawthorn tincture for at least a good month or so. And finally I ordered some more from Avena Herbs in Maine, which is one of my favorite places to get herbs from, herbal tinctures and things that I can't make myself because I don't have access to those herbs. So hawthorn, Courage. Hawthorn is medicine for the heart on all levels, helping you find the courage to face and overcome your fears, facilitating self-love and self-acceptance. Hawthorn supports a strong and protected, open-hearted state, allowing you to fully give and receive love so that you can truly come into your own divine strength and power. So this is the herb that will be out on my altar from now until equinox. And it's an herb that I am working with, taking internally, as well as working with on a spiritual level. So I have been working with several decks over the course of July. One of the ones that I brought out for the month of July was the Delta Enduring, and it is an out-of-print deck. I adore this deck. I realized that for a while I was sort of, because it is out of print and hard to get, I was kind of treating it as precious, and I was not using it very much. And so I thought, you know what? That's crazy. This is one of my, I've mentioned this before, one of my all-time favorite Hierophant cards. This is exactly what I think of these kinds of people. I love this Lover's card. I love the Chariot. Strength is gorgeous. Look at this Hermit. This Hermit card to me really embodies the energy and the feeling you get when you're in the Mississippi Delta. It's on those hot summer nights. My favorite Justice card ever. These cards are just so beautiful. One of my favorite Devil cards. Instead of the Tower, it's called the Levee, which we know historically those levees are what broke, and that's when we saw all that devastation from Hurricane Katrina. So here are the majors, and I thought I would also show you the aces. So we have the Ace of Moths, which is swords, oaks, which is wands, oysters, which is cups, and cast iron skillets, which are pentacles. And we have the novice for the page. If you've ever shucked oysters, and I have, I never got an injury quite that bad, but I definitely have stabbed myself with the knife. And the warrior are the knights, seer, queens, sage, kings. So that is the beautiful Delta Enduring. I have really enjoyed that deck a lot. And I also, on Lammas, jumping to another Oracle deck, changed out my season card from the Living Wheel. This is the card for Lammas or waning summer. So I always have the sun sign, the phase of the moon and the moon sign, and the seasonal card out on my altar from Living Wheel. I don't want to talk too much longer about cards because I see that this is getting a bit long, but I did on July 31st I participated in an online Lammas ritual led by Racine at Owl Moon 513, I think is her YouTube channel. It was really a beautiful, she did a beautiful job, bringing in the spirit of Lammas, setting up a goddess for us to choose from, Vesta, the Magdalene, or Hecate, and I chose Hecate. And she had a beautiful Lammas spread for us to work with throughout the next moon cycle, and I chose to use the Gaian tarot for that spread. These are not the cards I got. I just thought I would, show you a few of the cards. I'm trying to show cards that I don't usually show from the Gaian tarot. So this is a deck that I also worked with in July. I also worked with Super Lunaris, another deck that I just adore. Beautiful deck, beautiful cardstock, a dream to shuffle. I really, really love this deck. I get amazing readings with it. It is just a lovely, lovely deck. So, I also, this was a card that I pulled from the Wisdom of the Divine Feminine deck, and I'm trying to remember, although I am enraged and angry and heartbroken because of a number of things going on, I can't forget to also feel joy. So I hope you all are experiencing some joy. I hope you're managing to stay cool. It's a hot summer everywhere around the globe. Gee, do you think climate change might have something to do with that? Anyway, peace and love to you all. May you experience the joy and the beauty of summer as the wheel turns and we experience the waning days of summer. I know we're only at the beginning of August, so we still have a good 6 weeks left of my favorite time of year. But peace and love and blessings to you.